Good afternoon, and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Here to take a look at the pitching for today, the 1st of August. It is Saturday, and we do have a 10-game main slate this evening. The day slate I already kicked off, so I skipped over that. So we just get to worry about the 10 games on the slate this evening. Not sure on weather just yet. I'll check into that a little bit later on. But we'll just take pitching for what it is. One of the pitchers was already scratched. I'm going to refresh here and see if it's updated on DK. But Jose Soriano was scratched by the Angels due to trade interest and everything. As far as this slate, Cleveland, Atlanta, and even Chicago have a little bit of worries. Shouldn't be terrible overall. Cleveland's the worst. So we're going to want to pay attention to that. But a reminder that this is a first look at the options on the slate, and I am looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play in FanDuel, cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. Now with all that fun stuff said and done, let's just jump right in on this slate. We'll go game by game. Philly, Baltimore, I think both pitchers definitely in play. Shane Baz, not amazing. Really just one true upside performance this season. I'd be pretty happy with this kind of performance, the one he had against Kansas City. If he could have got one more out, qualified for the win, you'd be looking at like 27 DK points, which is fine. His last start wasn't great. He's kind of racking up pitch count early and often in some of these starts, and that is a worry. Philadelphia is a dangerous offense, but also there's some K upside, etc. in there. So I think Shane Baz is somebody we're gonna use in our pool. On the other side, you get Christopher Sanchez. It's been a month since he had a really dominant start. He has been giving up a few more hits recently. Strikeouts have been all right. I think it's a pretty good spot for him for upside. Now, on the road, he hasn't been anywhere near as good. That 362 average against is pretty gross to look at. 10 home runs and 54 in the third innings, but he's also taken out a Baltimore squad that can struggle against left-handed pitching and offer plenty of K upside for him. He's going to be one of my favorite GPP options. Maybe not the safest spend on this particular slate at this point. Yamamoto's probably the safest one. I'm going to update. See, I think the Angels are going to go with Brent Suter to open, but I haven't heard what their plans are after that. Texas and Houston, you got DeGrom and Blanco. Feels like DeGrom just annoys me so much. When he's right, he can be pretty good. 90 pitches in 5 innings, racking him up early. A month ago, he was sharp, 31 fantasy points. So, he still has the upside. 2 starts against Houston, just 29 total DK points. 10 and 19, basically. Houston lineup definitely finally got to Valdez yesterday. They had a lot of good BVP, so it kind of made a little bit of sense. I think DeGrom's a GPP guy, but he's not a priority by any means on this slate. Ronel Blanco on the other side, somebody I am going to use, but I am obviously afraid of the fact that he's just walking dudes and allowing home runs when he does walk guys. Like, the home runs are coming are like two-run home runs. So, you give up 2 of those per game, you're going to have some bad innings. So, has shown the strikeout upside, 12 strikeouts in 10 innings in his return. Only 6 hits allowed as well. So, the batting average against is super strong. It's just those walks and the home run combination. I think he's viable GPP upside, but obviously super volatile. Arizona, Cleveland. This is an interesting spot here. Coldrake, not somebody I'm going to use, even though Cleveland's weak enough against left-hand pitching. just doesn't seem like he's our kind of guy. I think he had a massive ERA in the minors all season. Parker Messick is the big question. Just one earned run allowed in 4 straight starts. Trends are pretty good for him. Overall season numbers pretty solid. Not as good at home, but still pretty solid. Just 3 home runs allowed in 64 home innings. The sorry about that. The issue that I do have with Parker Messick is the fact that Arizona doesn't strike out much. Last I looked, like a week ago or so, against left-handed pitching, they only strike out around 17% of the time, which is one of the lowest rates, might even be the lowest rate against left-handed pitching in all of baseball. But I think his upside's kind of limited, but that Arizona lineup has been weak enough that maybe there's just enough out of him. Like, is this a slate where I think 20 is going to work out? Maybe. For that reason, I am going to play some Parker Messick this evening. Washington, Atlanta. I'm not getting to either pitcher. I think Reynaldo Lopez is capable. He's coming off a pretty solid start against Baltimore. I do think he's definitely capable, but the Nationals have smacked him around hard, and he's just not overly consistent. He is at home where he's been really good, 228 average against, etc. But I just don't think I'm getting to Reynaldo Lopez. I had to stomach it and play Bryce Elder last night. I don't think I want to do that same thing with Lopez. And I'm definitely not using Miles Mikolas. Yankees, Chicago Cubs. 25-mile-an-hour winds blowing in, roughly. Yeah, from center field. Game time start temperature around 70 degrees. So that means it should probably drop into the upper 60s shortly after first start. Game total of just 6. Yeah, both pitchers should be near the top for us. Maybe not a ton of K upside for either guy, but still, when Max Fried is dominant, we know that he can dominate and put up, 37 fantasy points. His last start was pretty bad against the White Sox after his first start back being really strong. The big issue that I have here is the fact that he went 57 then 66 pitches. Now, that last start against the White Sox, I do think he was probably slated to throw 70 to 75. But they kind of just decided to not have him come out and start the 4th inning and just throw, 5 to 10 pitches. So he might have did a little bit of throwing underneath. I think he's probably geared up at this point to throw 80, maybe 85. So I think we're going to get more of a traditional start out of him. Probably not going to see 100 pitches, but that's all right. I think there's a lot of upside for him, especially on a site like DraftKings where efficiency matters. On the other side, David Peterson, not somebody I really trust, but given the wind and everything, I do think we have to go there. Plus, the Yankees have been struggling offensively quite a bit. And that wind blowing in is going to help him against the likes of Paul Goldschmidt, who's, the Yankees' best hitter against left-handed pitching. His last 2 appearances have been pretty strong. Was it 12 and a third innings, 6 hits, 2 earned? Just 7 strikeouts, though, so that's obviously the worry. Right now, he's projected to be super highly owned. I'm going to use him, but I'm debating going underweight on him just because, 40% David Peterson just feels gross. It might even be, 45% or something, but last I looked, I thought he was around 40%. Kansas City, Colorado, Feltner versus Avila. I'm not getting to either guy. We've used Avila a couple times this season. He does have some upside, but still, I'm just not all that interested in him. Walker was pretty decent against Colorado last night, but again, I don't think it's really a spot we need to force. San Francisco, San Diego. Don't think we really need to force this spot either. Molly's been 20 plus in 2 out of his last 3 starts, which is nice, but those 2 came at home. Much different pitcher on the road, so just no thank you. Walker Buehler, somebody that we've unfortunately used this season. 7 walks over his last, 11 innings? It's not ideal. he can do enough to get it done. 2 starts against the Giants, just 18 fantasy points in those 2 starts. 9 in the third innings, 7 runs allowed. Not ideal at all. So probably should be a game that we can easily pass on the pitching. Dodgers Boston. Peyton Tolley. We just saw Suarez be all right against the Dodgers last night. Boston won that game last night. Tolley definitely has shown some upside recently. It is a dangerous spot, but I think, like I mentioned with Ranger Suarez, I think there's a little bit of upside with left-handed pitching against the Dodgers. That's kind of their one weakness. They do weaken their starting lineup, by playing some of the bench guys, and obviously not having Will Smith helps as well. Tolley on the road has been really strong. So not from a fantasy points per game compared to home. They're very similar, but just from a metrics and underlying numbers standpoint. His K numbers could increase. That would really help out, but I think I'm going to sprinkle in some Tolley tonight. Yamamoto on the other side, obviously, probably SP1-ish on this slate. I would say that if Max Fried was going to give us 100 pitches, he would be my SP1. But since he's not, I think I'm going to go with Yamamoto as SP1. Now, I understand Boston's team has been winning games over the last few weeks, but still, I think it's just a great spot. I'm not afraid to use Yamamoto. I realize his home numbers are a little weaker overall, but strongest K rate is at home, so I don't mind it at all. Milwaukee and the Angels. We already talked about Jose Soriano being scratched due to trade interest. We have it here. It looks like it's going to be a full bullpen game, so that eliminates any idea of using an LA pitcher, even though we don't really need to most nights. On the other side, you get Robert Gosser. K upside in the matchup, but he's fine. Obviously, 17 plus fantasy points in, was that 5 of his last 7 starts? So that's pretty strong. Don't mind using him. His road numbers haven't been good, but I think he's been a little bit unlucky. A lot of home runs. That can be an issue because there are some Angels that do hit plenty of home runs, but I still think Gosser's upside is just strong. The Angels have moved up to the 3rd most strikeouts per game, or down to, I guess, because they were striking out more than any team in baseball at one point. They've been passed by the Reds and the Pirates on a per game basis, and even, I think, total strikeouts. So, Gosser's got to be in play. Last game on the slate, Framber Valdez and Perkins. Valdez absolutely dominated the A's, 3 weeks ago. That was in Detroit. I still think he's going to be viable just because this A's lineup is pretty weak overall, but there's a lot of volatility to him. Obviously, allows a ton of base runners. Walks can be an issue, etc. He's tough. He's a tough one to be overweight on, but I am going to use some Framber Valdez. Perkins on the other side, I'm just not getting there. I think it's probably a good spot to go back to Detroit. K numbers have been down. He's walking too many dudes, etc. Just don't think it's going to be viable for us on this particular slate. But there we have it. There's our first look at the pitching options on the slate. If you enjoyed what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell, and get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., there is a link in the description below. You can use promo code BOOK, B-O-O-K, to get 20% off any DFS Army package on the website. There's a link to the merch store down below as well. Check that out. Check out my design, some of the other designs. Hit the comments. Let me know which guy you're ranking as your SP1. Is it you going down to Fried and trusting him? Is it DeGrom, Yamamoto, Sanchez? Is it somebody else? What are your thoughts? As always, best of luck, everybody.